Hello, I'm Doug McConnell. I'm a professor of leadership and intercultural studies here at Fuller Theological Seminary. And one of the privileges that I have is equipping men and women to serve God and God's mission globally. My field of study is leadership, but I fit within a range of studies we call missiology. And so we have PhD students coming to us from various backgrounds, and all of them with the intent to learn more about what God is calling the church to do and what God is doing in the world. So our job is to walk beside them. It's interesting when you think about God's call to us. Someone once asked Jesus, a Pharisee once asked Jesus, what was the greatest commandment? And Jesus said, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And often we fail to realize the connection between loving God in our activities and in our worship times and loving God with the thoughts that we have and in our mind. And so that challenge that we have is to figure out how, as scholars whose life calling is to reflect on what God is doing and read what others are saying about that and trying to influence people in their thoughts about, in my case, God's mission, and then turning that and also helping our students to walk with God, experience God, and to form spiritually while they're forming in their intellectual framing. So this combination of spiritual formation and scholarly formation is at the heart of what we do at Fuller Seminary. And it's been a privilege over the years. This is my 20th year here at Fuller, and it's been a privilege to work with many, many doctoral students over the years. And the common thread has been a sincere heart of love for God and a disciplined mind in thinking the thoughts that we offer to God. And that combination becomes a serious part of what we do, both in the Center for Advanced Theological Studies and, in my case, the Center for Missiological Reflection. The term missiology we use was defined by one of my friends, who is a senior professor here, as the academic study of all dimensions of the Christian mission, biblical and theological foundations, history of Christian expansion since the founding of the church, and contemporary practice, theory, and strategy. And part of my role in engaging with students is to take those kinds of disparate and yet integrated areas and focus it on whatever they're looking at. And in my case, it's usually leadership, either in the church or in the mission or in some other form of activity or organization, and think about doing that Christianly. And I can tell you right now, if you're thinking about or if you're involved in doctoral studies, you'll appreciate the clarity with which we approach this subject and the importance of it in making an impact as Christian scholars. So it's my hope that that will be helpful to you in your consideration.